my name is Grace Watson. I'm here to tell you about the shortcomings and perks of Zoom in regards to the arts at a college campus. In light of COVID-19 pandemic, everything had to change and adapt to a world where social distancing and masks were a common occurrence. As a society, we turn to the arts to keep us sane during lockdown and a year-long quarantine. College campuses are no different. The arts have changed with the introduction to Zoom and livestreams becoming a tool to allow students in theater and art programs to not only entertain their college communities and peers, but to learn important skills and to how to adapt a live in-person performance at a time when there are mandates limiting the number of people in a location. The theater program has adapted to these changes with virtual theater productions taking center stage this past year. Colleges are also offering its students a chance to attend virtual events and shows ranging from comedy routines by New York-based comedians to movie nights every Friday on campus channel 6.1 or visit an online link provided by Concord University. With these changes to how the arts and entertainment is being distributed, let's look at the shortcomings of Zoom in regard to the arts and distribution. The shortcomings include loose visuals, limits actors' movements, technical difficulties, the struggle of adapting a theater production to an online medium, and the overall experience is vastly different from a Zoom performance to an in-person live performance. The first shortcoming of Zoom is loose visuals. While I'm sitting here behind a green screen, actors are also in front of a green screen, but they can only show from their neck up. They cannot convey a story through their costumes as much as an in-person will allow. There's a lack of props in an online performance. And their movements are also limited from considering that they can't walk across the stage, they cannot interact with the audience, they cannot have overzealous hand movements since that'll mess up the green screen. And technical difficulties, as previously mentioned, green screens are a crucial tool to have a backdrop, have a background that will complement the story on stage. But from Zoom shutdowns to mics cutting out, Zoom does have its shortcomings in regards to how actors can act and be able to tell the story. And there's also a struggle of adapting a theater production to an online medium. What stories are being put on stage or on Zoom in this case, from Little Women, which is a Civil War era play by, and the most crucial part about Zoom is that audiences cannot suspend their disbelief as much as a live performance. On Zoom, we are zoomed out. In the past year, we have Zoom meetings, we have classes on Zoom, we meet up with friends on Zoom, hopefully, social distancing. It's about what would make audiences come out and watch the show on Zoom. How is Zoom being adapted to the program that will allow that suspension of disbelief, but also keep the integrity of the play? And the last shortcoming of Zoom is the overall experience of watching a play on Zoom versus an in-person live performance. While you might think it's just a movie, you're watching a screen, you're watching actors act, there is that bit of you cannot audiences cannot suspend their disbelief. They know it's a Zoom performance. And Zoom in a movie from a Hollywood studio is vastly different from what student actors are putting on at a college campus. After this commercial break, I will discuss the pros and shortcomings of Zoom in regards to theater and musical performances. Enjoy. The J. Frank Marsh Library is more than just a place for students to check out books. At the library, students can learn more about West Virginia history by entering into the West Virginia Room, located inside the library. The West Virginia Room houses works by West Virginian authors, and students can drop by for drop-in tutoring. Students can search the online databases, copy, print, check out DVDs, CDs, and audiobooks. The library is open to the public. Visit the library or go online to learn more. Despite these shortcomings, Zoom does have its perks. For instance, the way upcoming theater productions and how the arts are being distributed is better than no arts at all, in that having Zoom is better than nothing. For the first perk, students are learning new skills in light of COVID-19 restrictions. We are learning how to host live streams. We are learning how to edit videos. And also the way performers are being distributed to the college campus and to the community is vastly different from last year. For instance, Tartuffe is a production directed by Cameron White and James Wilbur that was filmed and it premiered on YouTube. And I think it's important to address how social media is becoming a crucial tool to not only promote events, but also to distribute content. Students are having to utilize a variety of techniques to record and film material. And we're also, with social media, you're reaching out wider audience. It's just not a local community. It's not just the campus community, but it could potentially be worldwide. Everybody is on social media, and it's open to the public. All you have to do is go to Zoom and upload the link, and you can be part of the theater. You can watch a play. And theater decorum has changed, perhaps for the better. While actors may struggle with the lack of interaction with the audience, but there is a way to adapt to that. For instance, Zoom has a chat function that allows audiences to interact and have conversations with the actors before, during, and after the performance, to applaud them, to say good job. So that is how the actors are being encouraged to perform in these COVID-19 times. And while I previously mentioned the struggles to adapt a theater production to Zoom, there's more creativity now in regards to story ideas and play productions. For instance, Firstly Driving Me Crazy, which is written by Todd Wingler, student actors adapted Zoom to the performance. Zoom was a fundamental part of that performance. Hint word, virtually. While the audience was not able to suspend their disbelief, they were able to overcome it and accept the fact that Zoom was going to be part of our lives, even if that part included teaching young people how to drive and get their permits and licenses. And student actors are adapting their acting techniques to Zoom Due to the lack of visuals, they are having to rely on their facial expressions to convey the story, which is no different from the Romans and Greeks that would wear masks that convey the emotion. So we're going back to the basics with Zoom. To answer the original question of can the arts survive in a COVID-19 world and is Zoom the answer? The arts are always going to overcome any obstacle, and as shown by this last year, colleges are adapting to the limitations set by Zoom to not only educate students, but to teach them new skills in the art of accepting a challenge. Zoom is the answer for now, but these new skills students are learning regarding live streaming and editing videos to be able to distribute content via online mediums such as YouTube and Zoom itself, and as well as social media, as previously mentioned. I see Zoom as a life support to keep the arts alive, and while the situation is not ideal, it has offered students more learning opportunities and has continued to allow them to continue to create, art, and perform.